I am Srinivas, Chairman, Prakruti Prerana Foundation. Our vision is flourishing forests and thriving wildlife. So, one of the first tasks that we have taken up is to create infrastructure which is eco-friendly. So, we had built eco-friendly houses with mud, bamboo, and local materials. So, more on that is going to be told by Garbit, our chief architect, and by Abhishek, our site director.
Hello everyone, I am here to share my experiences of building with community and natural materials in Gajraha. So Gajraha is a small village located in central India in dry deciduous forest near Bandhavgarh Tiger Reserve, and we Prakruti Prerana Foundation went there with an intention of forest conservation, rejuvenation, and wildlife, to do something good for the wildlife basically. So when we moved to Kajra, we were very new to the place. We did not had any friends over there, or we did not know anyone. So also the village is very small, and as such they don't have any infrastructure. So we started. We moved to a place. The place was not that good, but yeah, we managed somehow, and then we thought it's good to start building our own stay in Gajraha around the forest. So we started with the hut. Was a very small hut, and we started to build with whatever was available on the site. We'll start with a hut, a usual hut. We'll move into the site and we'll start building other structures, and then those will be made like properly, that are going to be permanent.
हाय, मेरा नाम अभिषेक है। 2021 में मैंने प्रकृति प्रेरणा फाउंडेशन के साथ काम करना शुरू किया। साथ हमने वहाँ पे एक नेचुरल बिल्डिंग पे भी काम किया, जो लोकल टेक्निक है मकानों की, मिट्टी, पत्थर, बांस आदि से हमने मकान वहाँ पे बनाए। गर्भित जो कि हमारे साथ काम कर रहे थे, उन्होंने मकान का जिम्मा उठाया। मैं चूँकि परमाकल्चर डिज़ाइनर हूँ, तो परमाकल्चर के ऊपर और क्या क्या पौधे लगने चाहिए, जो वहाँ की लोकल बायोडाइवर्सिटी है उसके ऊपर, इन चीज़ों के ऊपर काम किया। साथ साथ हमने वाटर कंजर्वेशन, जंगलों में जानवरों के लिए पानी की बहुत कम समस्या हो जाती है, उसके ऊपर भी काम किया। उसके बाद हमने लोकल कम्युनिटी को साथ में लाने के लिए वहाँ एक छोटा सा मंदिर बनवाया। इस तरह से अनेक तरह के काम हमने वहाँ पे बांधवगढ़ में प्रकृति प्रेरणा फाउंडेशन के साथ किया।
Building with nature primarily talks about considering climate as the first thing. Whenever we see a traditional house or a monument or old building, we see that it has been designed and built considering the climate of the place and the geographical location, which is directly related to the climate. Since Gajraha is a place with hot and dry climate, so we started to design the structures based on these principles, and we adopted first and foremost the east-west orientation of the built spaces. So the longer side of the buildings were facing towards the north and the south, and we tried to block the harsh sun and heat from east and west. This place reaches up till 47-48 degrees during the summers, and which is totally unbearable. With cement structures and poorly designed buildings, it becomes very difficult to survive in summers. So we came up with the vernacular techniques that these people were using the adobe bricks, because the soil in this area is sandy loamy soil. So ideally, in the process of rammed earth is actually much more suitable. But then, since the community was familiar with adobe, so we thought of going ahead with adobe bricks. For adobe, we used sandy soil mixed with a little bit of clay and kodo millet husk. This was primarily because since this is a forest area and the termites are very active here, and the primary cause of termite attacking a mud wall is rice husk. They are interested in the rice husk in the adobe bricks. So we thought the root cause of it as rice husk, and why not to replace it with the kodo millet, because this was also suggested by the local people, by the way, that kodo millet is actually good for adobe bricks, and we thought of using that, which came out very well. We also mixed a bit of lime in the adobe bricks to stabilize it first, and second, lime also termite are also affected by lime. Lime acts as a termite repellent primarily. Second thing is, since these adobe bricks are 14 inches wide, it gave us thick walls and thermally resistant walls, and which helped us to keep the heat during summers outside, and the heat during winters inside the buildings. Second thing that we talk about is the proportion of openings. This area is also have a lot of warm winds, and talking about it, we had a comparatively small size of windows, and mutual shading in the walls, which is like bricks protruding out from the wall, which is a typical example everyone might have seen in Rajasthan architecture, where we see a lot of beautiful jharokas that come out of the wall, that helps the wall to remain in shadow even during the day, and it helps to keep indoors cool. Third is the stack ventilation, the design of stack ventilation, where low vents were designed into buildings, and the heat that was accumulated inside the building was escaped from the openings in the north, in the roof. And this also acted as north light, because we also had small windows, and nowadays we need natural lighting a lot. Earlier it used to be the case where the spaces were very dark, and so the concept of north light actually helped us to bring in more natural light, while using the concepts of stack ventilation and cross ventilation to keep the indoors cool. Talking about the roof designs, I think Sham Ghate Hall also has a very interesting roof design, because it's primarily an open hall, a multi-purpose hall, with a span of almost 30 feet and 50 feet wide. So the challenge was to have a column-free space which can accommodate almost 80 to 100 people, and the idea was to distribute the load of the roof onto the column. So we Shweta ji came up with this idea of fanning of bamboo, where the load of a roof was transferred through the truss at 1/3 part of the roof, and all four columns were then came up and merged to a single point and transferred the load on the foundation. After all these structures were built, it was the time to redo the hut that gave us shelter when we moved back here. So the hut was actually built in wattle and daub technique, which was not treated materials. So we thought to replace the entire hut with another structure, but the conscious mind always kept on thinking what we can do with what is already there. So we came up with the idea of building another floor above this, and we opened up the walls of the hut because that were primarily the problem, and the roof, because the roof was thatched, not not a very good thatch, so it was leaking. And so we thought, if roof and wall is the major problem, why not just redo these two things and keep everything exactly the same as it is. So we thought of building on top of it, and it was a very interesting idea, because then we could think of a larger volume that was visually interconnected among the two floors, and it came out very good, and it was actually evolving. We did not had any particular design, and since this was the last structure, we had to build with whatever we had. We could not get new materials particularly for this. So the design was then very simple. And talking about the design part, we also adopted refurbished materials, as in we used refurbished wood for furniture, and we got salvaged wood for doors and windows, and scrap metal, basically the metal that comes out from the building. We use it for our grills, and beautiful grills that you see of Barasinga, which is MP's state animal. We use those scrap grills to build this. The design of structures were also done keeping in mind the capacity of local people to build it. So we also had to think of ways in which we can teach the techniques to the local masons and craft persons. So what we did is designing very simple trusses that can be drawn on the ground, and then we showed them how to do it on the ground first, and then they practiced it. They made the trusses, and then we adopted safety measures, and so just like getting cranes to pull up the trusses and put it up on the building. It was a very interesting what should I say, interesting exercise actually, because we were also learning a lot of new things every day with them.
I hope you liked our information, and we request you to visit our YouTube and our website for more information and contact details.